Well, it's not the Outcast crew, it's just me. How you doing? Merry Christmas to the 3 people that are watching. I didn't actually think anyone would be watching. Stepenzo's here. Look at that. 4. Okay, thanks, man. Yeah, not gonna lie, I had a pretty difficult Christmas day. So, I mean, the meal part was good. Had a meal with my flatmate, but he's on shift. He's up very early tomorrow, so that was the only part of the day I was with someone else. So it's quite a big contrast to the kind of Christmases I had, both with my family and also with my partner, ex-partner. Quite different. So, not feeling 100% brilliant, I've got to be honest. So I thought, well, I'm either going to play a game or I'm going to stream or I'm going to start my next book. And actually, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start my next book. But anyone who's on their Todd or feeling a bit discombobulated, because Christmas puts a lot of pressure on you, doesn't it? To, feel a certain way and do certain things. If you're feeling a little bit out of sorts, then do please give me a shout, and maybe you can even pop on. So good to see Wil Johnson. Yeah, Christmas is over already in the UK. David Macy is here, and possibly somebody else I don't know is watching, whoever that may be. I'm just making sure. For some reason, Leicester Square is trending. I'm just making sure. It's to do with. It's to do with Gavin and Stacey. You're not going to find somebody better than me, Neil. I already did 17 years ago in Leicester Square. That's an interesting line. I feel like I have to watch that now. Yeah, they have a little Christmas market in Leicester Square at the moment. I was there the other night. Hey, Admiral Teague. Kitty Bonkers Anti-Hero. Just love this name, man. Hey, Vex. How you doing? I have a large glass of whiskey here and some Coke. The sort of Coke you mix with whiskey. So, but I don't like putting Coke in the whiskey. I sort of sip a bit of the whiskey and then I take a sip of the Coke. That's how I drink it. So, yeah, Christmas. It's all been a bit strange. Christmas is a bit strange. So, the next, I've got 2 books, right, I'm going to do in 2025. Would you like to know what they are? Of course you would. One of those books is called 100 Amazing People I Have Known. So, and then in brackets, and some not so amazing. And this is about 100 people I have met in my life. And there's some of them are people I've met in person. So, and there are some I have met who are friends of mine. Some of them I've met online, but I've never met in person. And there's a couple of others who have had a massive influence on me, but I've not met them in person. So that's what it says, 100 amazing people I have known rather than I have met. But most of these are people that I've met. So that's one of the books I'm going to do. the other one is my Journal of Raving in 2024 is going to be a book. You might be by yourself in that room, but you're far fro alone. Is Fro Alone a name of a character from Lord of the Rings? Bex, let me know if you want to pop on. I don't know if you're free to do that. Kitty Bonk, you're not someone I know, but if you want to come on, I'll give you the link. If you want to come on and say hi in person, you don't have to put your camera on. You can stay off camera if you like. Special Christmas pass to the channel. So I have a list of people, right, that are going in this book. Shall we have a look at that list? Let's have a look, shall we? All right, so I've got to find it now. Here we go. 100. Oh, that's the films list. That was the 100 amazing people I've known. Right, so I just sort of like wrote out a list one day to see how many I would get, how many 100 amazing people I would have in this list, and would it be difficult? And hang on, I have to amend something on here before I share it with you. Just got to hide this person's real name. There we go. So here is the provisional list for that. You can see these are all my notes for various projects and things on the left here, right? So there are 68 names. I haven't done them all yet. And these are just people that I have a story about, who have somehow influenced or impacted my life somehow. So let's talk about a couple of them for the benefit of the 6 people watching. I'm actually about to leave for the theatre to watch the porno sex film Nosferatu. Okay, cool. Yay, rave book. Yeah, the rave book is coming. Yeah, Kitty, I'll tell you what, Kitty, if you want to come on, I'm going to drop the StreamYard link in chat right now. And any of my mods can pop on if they want to say hello as well. There you go. We'll leave that in the chat for about a couple of minutes, and then we'll delete it. So top of the list, you can see it's George Michael. That is because I once got to spend 24 hours in George Michael's company, and just me and him. My presence at his house was witnessed by one other person who was working on some kind of mix for George for on one of his older songs. They were talking about that. It was really quite surreal, that whole encounter. And I've often thought about writing a stage play about it called My Night with George. It was not a sexual encounter. I just want to put that out there. It's nothing to do with sex. Merry Christmas, Lancey. You might be by yourself in that room, but you're far from alone. Got a stream idea. I'll DM you. Don't rave too hard. Okay, yeah. Drop me a DM in my Twitter, because I think you're on my Facebook as well, aren't you? RTN said. So if you want to do that, that's good. Cool. Jason Flemyng is an obvious one. So Richard Jordan was not an actor that I met, but there's a big story behind him, which I could tell, which relates to some things that impacted my life. I also thought about writing a biography about his life at one point. So I heavily researched him. Never wrote the biography. Sharon Sorrentino is my friend of some 28 years and my casting director. You have Donal Logue, who many of you will know I'm good friends with, who's another American actor, who, funnily enough, was also in Gettysburg with Richard Jordan, which was Richard Jordan's last film before he passed away. And look who's on here. Enzo. Enzo is on the list. That means there will be a chapter in this book about Stepenzo. See that? Didn't even hesitate to put him on. He got added on quite early on. We also have Inside Man. We got Wil Jordan here, Gary Bolter, Matthew Holmes, Nadia and Hugo. That's my Australian director friend, his wife, and the dog. Yeah, I'm not sure I needed to clarify that, as I don't indulge. It is a Scottish whiskey, Glenfiddich. I'm listening. What's this? When it's getting silent, I reflect on the life I have and the people I've lost. Kind of thankful and sad at the same time. Oh, well, it's interesting. Look at this. We got 10 people watching now. That's nuts. If you just joined the stream, put a comment in the chat, and whether you're a YouTuber or you're not, if you're alone this Christmas, let me know. I've actually put the link so people can come on. It's there. So, sorry, just going back to this list. So you can see Inside Man's there. I don't know whether I can completely include him or not, because if I might not be able to talk to him about a particularly big degree. So I have a big story about Kevin Bacon. You'll find that you'll read about it in the book. So how do you know Kevin Bacon? Yeah. Jimmy McGovern is a very well-known English writer. John Vokkings is my English teacher. So some of these people are really big names, like Gail Ann Hurd, for example, Ron Underwood, David Niven, for example, big name. Some of these are people you will not have heard of. This is one of my friends from school. Fiona Murphy is a really good friend of mine, and Freddie is her pooch. But there is a story for me to tell about most of these people, almost all of which are extremely positive, quite heartfelt stories. I've just thought of another name I need to add to this list, actually. Danny. I mentioned him in Silver Screen Journeys in the section under Milk. Hang on, let me grab the book. I'm trying to remember his surname. He ran with Harvey Milk back in San Francisco. So it's towards the end of the Milk came out. When did Milk come out? Was it like 2005 or something like that? Look. Trying to remember Danny's name now. So he's another name I've got to add to this. So, by the way, if there's anyone in the chat who has read or received a copy of Silver Screen Journeys, please let me know. Professor Arthur, I think you sent me a picture of you with a copy of it. I can't tell you how grateful I was to receive that. Thank you so much. I'm pretty sure it was you that sent me that picture. That was on Twitter. I think it was you. Oh, God, what is Danny's name? It's bugging me now. Because I know so many Dannys, right? I don't want to say his name wrong live on air. Hang on a minute. I know I can look it up because he's a character. Yeah, thanks, man. Have you started reading any of the book yet? You know, if you're in, by the way, Kitty Bonkers anti-hero, if you're in a melancholic mood, which I am myself right now, that is the perfect time to come on and have a philosophical chat with Uncle Lance. So don't let that stop you from coming on. But I understand headspace can be a precious thing. I'm just going to have another sip of whiskey. Excuse me. I have drunk quite a lot of water, by the way, so I'm in nowhere near inebriated. My Christmas meal was quite some time ago because it's now 2:15 in the morning here. See, I had a nap earlier, fell asleep watching White Christmas. So actually, under John, I need to, and Sean Pertwee, John's son. Yeah, so for example, Gonçalo Matthias is the Portuguese kid who used to live in the flat above me. So some of these stories are sort of quite, they're quite particular to the people in question. Merry Christmas to the 9 people watching. Very kind of you to look in. Have been feeling a bit... I wasn't alone for my Christmas meal, but I have been... Otherwise, apart from the company I had for my Christmas meal, I was on my Todd. Streamer Portal. I don't think I've seen this person in chat before. If you're a YouTuber, please let me know. Sean Pertwee is a favourite. Yeah. He's my favourite Alfred. Oh, he was Alfred in Gotham. Okay, I haven't watched Gotham, so... Lance's next movie, Sleep Hard. I already did that today. I snoozed. Yes, there's various other people here, including like Kitty Bonkers has said, at Christmas time you do reflect on people that are not here. I mean, the reason I find Christmas really difficult is quite simple, right? And that reason is that my family are all gone. I have a nephew who I'm not even in touch with at the moment because I lost his number when my phone got hacked. So I'm not in touch with him right now. So I can't just ring him up and wish him Merry Christmas. But my parents are both dead. My cousins I'm either out of touch with or they don't seem to be particularly interested in pursuing any kind of friendship or whatever. So that kind of sucks. By the way, this is a great photo that I've just found of me at one of the events I was at last year. Really love this picture. Gonna pop this up. There we go. Check that photo out. That is my friend Paul Fegan, who is just behind me. That was the first day I met him properly, actually. And I forget the names of these 2 other ladies. But this is when we're chilling out at the bar. So I just love listening to you. I'm quite talkative, so that's a compliment. When I have these quiet moments, I enjoy them very much. Thank you for the offer. We will talk, but just not today. Okay, no pressure. That's all good. Well, if you just like talking to me, I will endeavour to use my sexy, deep, musky radio voice and keep the tone of the conversation along these lines. So, family is overrated. Well, it's coming from someone who found their family with my husband. Hang on, let me recap that. Family is overrated, but that's coming from someone who found their family with my husband and our friends. Oh, okay, so you found a new family through your husband. Right, I got you. Right, so when I got married, I thought I was going to have this kind of great family through my then wife. And I got very close to her sister's 2 daughters, my nieces, effectively. One of whom was quite young. In fact, there'll be a chapter about her in the book. It's called Innie here, number 52. And me and her really bonded. And in fact, we took Innie out quite a bit. This is when myself and my ex-wife were going through a lot of difficulties. And yeah, when I lost, when we broke up, when we, got divorced and everything, that family just went. They've all gone. So I don't have any ongoing contact with them. That's been extremely, extremely difficult. We've got another super chat here. Thank you very much. RRTNZ. Medicine takes Chuck Norris to feel better. When he takes off sunglasses, he blinds the sun. In the 10 Commandments, Chuck Norris was God's stunt double. I love that. That's great. Stream Portal, you're new to the channel. Well, listen, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because I'll be most grateful to you. Normally the channel is not me kind of rambling about whatever, but if I do a stream and it's called Late Night with Lancey, it does mean two things. One, it means any topic is up for discussion, and it also means anyone can come on. So I mean anyone in the chat. I don't just mean other YouTubers. If you fancy popping on for a bit, you don't have to be on camera. I mean I do go on camera, just to, here I am, hello. Right, so you know, my hair's a bit of a mess. It's late here, so I'm staying off camera. But you don't have to come on camera if you want to come on. The other thing is, on a Late Night with Lancey stream, we talk about anything. My channel normally is about interviewing people in the creative industries, big names from film, television, theatre, all of that, as well as supporting up-and-coming independent creatives. That is what my channel is primarily about. Supporting independent creatives is what I do. I'm an independent creative myself. So there's 11 people watching. Can I just say how grateful I am to each and every one of you that on whatever hour of Christmas Day it might be for you, you've chosen to hang out with me. That's quite special that you've done that. Thank you very much. So the other thing I was going to do, I mean, assuming I don't get on some kind of random topic with you lot and we can talk about anything, is I was going to set up the framework for my next book. Now, the rave book is the next book I'm going to write as a matter of course. So the 100 Amazing People one, I don't think that will come out until the end of the year, but only if I've got 100 stories plus. If I don't, then I will wait until, but you can see I've already got, I showed you that list earlier. There were 68 people on that list. Danny, God damn it, Danny, what's your name? Hang on, let's go onto the IMDb page for Milk and have a look. So I met Danny on Facebook, contacted him. I reached out to him after I saw Milk and thought we might do some kind of documentary together. That didn't actually happen for various reasons in the end, but we may still come back to that. Danny Nicoletta, thank you, fuck's sake, Danny Nicoletta. But I did become really good friends with him, and he was around for me at a very, very, very important moment in my life. By that, I mean he was on the end of the phone when I needed somebody on the end of the phone, if you know what I mean. It is, yeah, it's 2:24 a.m. here, Kitty. Where are you? Are you an hour ahead of us? Are you in like Germany or France or somewhere like that? Where are you? Let's take that down for the moment. Anybody that doesn't know, my latest book, this is not a book promotion stream, but it is my channel, so you know we can promote the Nielsen's wares. Oh, I've got another review. My latest book is out. I actually talked about it on Admiral Teague's channel. Admiral Teague is in the chat, and here it is. Silver Screen Journeys. It's now had all the typos corrected. That it launched with loads of typos because I needed to get a physical copy of the book in my hands. And bonjour, Kitty Bonkers. Comment allez-vous, ça va? So that's why the book had to come out a little bit earlier. Streamer Portal, I did not know that you were also in the UK. So you've had Christmas with your mum. I understand. There's my dad, by the way, on the back of the book. And I'll show you guys. There's a picture of my mum and dad in the book. I'm kind of repeating myself if I tell people what this book's about, because I have spoken about it at length already. But it's 100 memories attached to movies in my life, and it's kind of it's almost like a sort of map of my life through the movies I went to see, in a way. My Life Through 100 Films is what I called the book as the working title. And in the book there is a number of photos. One of those photos quite early on in the book is of my mum and dad when they are very much in love. Let me see if I can find that photograph for you guys, and I'll get the PDF of the book up and you can have a quick look. Silver Screen Journeys corrected PDF. Well, this is not that corrected because this is from, when is this? Oh, that's from 12th. We need to delete that one. That one's no good. Hold on, so I'm gonna delete that quickly. Here we go. Silver Screen Journeys, 19th of December. That's the one we want. And even this one's, even this PDF has had some corrections done to it. 12 people watching. Sincerely, I thank you very kindly for hanging out. No France, love the language though. No France though. I speak a little bit of French, petit. Right, so this is the PDF of the book, right? This is the one that's out. We've got the forward by the Critical Drinker. Very kind of him to do the forward. There I am with Wil himself. Don't know who that suspicious man is in the vest, but it was a very warm day when we took that photo. I think we were both in our shorts, even though I did look quite smart, but I think I had shorts on. So there is a picture of my mother and father. I might be able to zoom in on that a bit for you guys. Yeah, here we go. So this is my mum and dad, very much in love. This would be when they just met, so this would be 10 years before I came along. Now I'm adopted, so these are the parents who adopted me at the age of 1. My father passed away right before Christmas, on the 1st of December in 2010, so 14 years ago. Still seems like it was yesterday sometimes. My mother, she died on the 1st of March 2009. She was diagnosed with cancer on the 1st of December 2008. And they gave her 3 months to live, 6 if she did chemo. She didn't want to do the chemo. So it was, the thing that was tough at that time was I was in a different relationship then. I was not married. And I said to the girl in question, who, by the way, is also in the book, there's some pictures of her in the book, well, I think we better bring the wedding forwards. And she said, I love you, Lance, but I don't know if I love you as much as you love me. And when she said that, I was like, oh shit. And within, I think, 3-4 months of that conversation, certainly by the time my mother died, we were not together. That was quite difficult, as you can imagine. But it was actually through her, for better or worse, some might say for worse, that I was introduced to the woman who I would later marry, whom I broke up with in the summer of 2019. We got back together briefly in lockdown, but that was over by 2021. And, you know, my parents always made Christmas very special because my father was Danish. Christmas is a very, very big thing in Denmark. I talked about it on Retro Nerd Girls channel last night about how special it is in Denmark, you know, Feast of Hearts. It's all amazing decorations and things like that. And, go on. Scroll down just so you can see what the children's films thing means, so no one takes that out of context. Yeah, so I think when in those two relationships, I made sure Christmases were very special for us, especially for my ex-wife. So you go from having great family Christmases to having no family. I lost my sister when my parents died as well, because my sister tried to steal all the money. So me and her have never spoken since, unfortunately. And it's not just the fact that she tried to steal it, it's the way she tried to steal it and all of that. So yeah, so basically to go from that contrast to I've spent, out of the last 4 Christmas of 23, sorry, Christmas of 22, 23, Christmas of 21, Christmas 2019, I spent either on my own or somebody came and hung with me, so I wasn't on my own, if you know what I mean. But it's always really difficult, isn't it? It's like, how do you go from having one type of life where everything seems like you know you have certain expectations, you feel like you know where you're at with stuff, to then being in a life where, holy shit, you know, what the fuck, you know, how did everything change like this? How does Darth Vader know what Luke got for Christmas? He felt his presence. And he bought him some Star Wars Lego. I mean, it's obvious, no-brainer. I thought there must be a little Rothgar in there, Red Steen, and I live in part of Hamburg. Oh, that's right. I remember you, Kitty, yeah. It was once under a Danish protectorate, and the name Steen isn't uncommon. Yeah, it's a very common name in Denmark. That's why you've got Steen Anthony Nielsen. So, yeah, this is the beginning. Fade up. It's the first chapter of the book, right? So, I've got a load of pictures somewhere in a box that I could show you guys, and including some Christmas photos, which I took from my late father's flat before my sister ransacked it and stole everything. You know. So yeah, no, I do still have my interests and skills, but I'm very, very, very much a people person. My life and my circumstances absolutely have to change. I can't do another Christmas like this. I can't come to the end of 2025 and face another year as difficult as the last have been, even though 2024 has been pretty good on the whole, has to be said. But I just can't function like that. I'm not good at that part of life. Functioning on my Todd. It's not really me. So yeah, anyway, let me talk about some other things. There's a couple of people offering to come on, so I appreciate that. I might bring you on in a sec. I know there's a couple of YouTubers that are offering to come on. I was more earlier when I offered people to come on. It's more about people that I don't know, who I haven't met before, who might be in the chat, who might be feeling a bit shitty because they're spending Christmas on their own. I want to give those people first dibs today. But I probably will take a couple of these people up on their offer in due course if I stay on a bit longer. Like and subscribe. Thank you very much. Yeah, hey, shall we see how many subscribers we have now? Let me have a quick check and I'll tell you. I mean, we reached 5K, so that's great. It was always the target was I had hoped to hit 10K by the end of this year, actually, but I realized by the summer that I was going to be lucky if I hit 5. So then the target became 5, you know. Let me go into YouTube Studio. I also need to click on the monetization thing for this stream. I completely forgot to do that. 5,028. We've gone up a little bit. We've gone up. That's nice. Thank you very much. If you're new and you've subscribed, I really appreciate that. I very much appreciate it. I like to think this channel's very authentic. I like to think that the people that I bring on who come on this channel, I like to think they're authentic as well. So I don't have non-authentic people on here. 6K party coming soon. Yeah, that's going to be at Kitty Bonker's house in West Hamburg. The 6K party. So shall I show you some other pictures from the book? Shall we do that? Let's do that. So so obviously this is, let's zoom out a little bit zoomed in there. So obviously this is the early chapter. So the early chapter of the book, I really talk about the first films I can ever remember seeing. They're not part of my 101, but one of the first things you do as a kid is you watch The Wonderful World of Disney, because it was on Sunday afternoon every Sunday, and there were usually 3 things. There was usually a feature film. Sometimes it was a feature-length animated film, but most of the time it was a live action, sort of part of the whole kind of Disney studio stuff. And then there would usually be like a cartoon, like maybe a Mickey Mouse cartoon or something like that. And then sometimes there would be like a 20-minute documentary short. There were often videos about Disneyland and stuff like that, you know. So that's how I first heard of Disneyland. So the 2 first films that get mentioned in the book is The Strange Monster of Strawberry Cove and The Whiz Kid and the Mystery of Riverton, right? Now, if you put this title into, I was really into dinosaurs as a kid. Now, these dates, by the way, are when the movie was first made, but I wasn't alive in 71, so I probably saw it around 1974. So if you put that movie into YouTube, you'll see that the entire movie is there on YouTube, and I actually watched it for this stream. So let's take that down for a second. I mean, I watched it to research my book, because I knew that I'd seen this film where these kids like make this dinosaur, and here's the whole movie here. It stars Burgess Meredith as kind of their history teacher, and Colm O'Brien, is that the comedian? We should be in bed. Yeah, I know. Well, we should be, but we're not. How naughty are we? Terrible. So so this is, in fact, there are 2 versions of it on. I think one is slightly lesser quality. These are very, so, you know, they've got, now I've got to be careful, I don't want to get copyrighted here, but I remember this logo, you know, and these were definitely among the first films that I saw. So when you watch this, you'll see one of the kids in this is a really young, and I say this in the book, let me just get that section of the book. Kim Richards from Tough Turf. She's also in The Housewives of Beverly Hills. She's in this. She's got like a small role in this. And so basically the teachers all go on this expedition to Strawberry Cove with the kids. And the teacher, Burgess Meredith, he thinks he sees a sea monster, but nobody will believe him. But the kids believe him. So what the kids do is they build their own sea monster so that they can prove that the teacher really did see this thing. They want to stick up for him. But basically what the teacher saw was not a sea monster. He saw the boat that he saw was actually it was being controlled by these smugglers, and they were smuggling like booze or something. They were bad guys anyway, up to no, I can't remember the specifics of the plot, but I always remembered this because it had a sea monster in it, because it had a dinosaur in it. I remembered it. Yeah. Ike Eisenman is still alive, man. He's not dead. He better not be dead. I talk about Ike Eisenman in the book. I mention him twice. Kim Richards was in the Witch Mountain films. Yeah, the original Witch Mountain films. Very good observation. Ike Eisenman is still alive. He's on my Facebook. So unless he's died over the Christmas period, please tell me that's not true. In fact, let me just check. Got me worried now. Gonna have a little look to make sure he's all right. Get his Facebook page up. I think he's pretty still. Yeah, no. Well, he did a post on the 19th of December. So unless something has happened, and he's got his own podcast, by the way. He does from time to time. He's got like he does interviews with fellow Disney stars like Patrick how do you pronounce his surname? Labashia, something like that. Yeah. So and then the Whiz Kid. This was a much better film, by the way. The Whiz Kid and the Mystery of Riverton. That is also on YouTube. If we drop that into the search bar here, you'll see it come up. Full movie. Yeah. So the Whiz Kid and the Mystery of Riverton is basically it was a two-parter as well, and it was basically about this kid called Alvin, who's kind of like a sort of wacky inventor, and he found that these guys were up to no good in the mayor's office, and there was this competition to win to become mayor for a day for the kids. So he basically became mayor for the day. The reason I remembered this so well was because, and by the way, the main kid in this, the Whiz Kid, is the same actor who plays who is the kid in, I talk about this in my book, he's the same kid who's in Beyond the Poseidon Adventure, Eric Shear. So as soon as I saw the Poseidon Adventure, which I saw when I was quite young, it was on one Christmas, straight away I recognized Eric Shear from this thing. So I was already like, hey, that's that kid from that other thing, you know. But he's got this really cool basement. This is it. This is his cool basement, his den, which has got like all these, like, you know, this is how his friends come in. They come down the slide and shit. And, you know, they've got this little slide that they come down. And I think that's Kim Richards again, actually. I always thought, like, I want a den like this. I want a cool like room like this for my gang. The main thing that this movie taught me was it's very important to have a gang. So this is Eric Shear, the kid from the Poseidon Adventure. This is Patrick. That's the same guy. Yeah, not sure how you pronounce that name. That's a killer to pronounce that name. So I talk about that in the book. And it might seem that these are not the most exciting of topics. Or have we been blocked out of that already? Oh no, we haven't. To talk about in the book, I don't talk about them in much length, but what's important about them is they're the first films I can remember seeing as a kid. So I started off with Disney movies on a Sunday afternoon because I wasn't old enough to go to the cinema, And I also wasn't old enough to stay up and watch things like The Godfather and whatever when it was on television. So they were the first movies I saw in the 70s. Yeah. So let's go back to the book for a sec. So I wanted to show you guys something else. So if we go a bit further on, let's shrink this down a bit. So this is when my dad used to work. That connects to the film Towering Inferno. There's the poster for The Land That Time Forgot, which is one of the first films I saw in the cinema. So, okay, if we go here. So this is to do with The Longest Day. So this is me and the recce team for Pegasus Bridge. That's with producer Nicola Gregory in the middle. This is actor Mike Beckenham, who is the younger brother of actor Simon Pegg. Jake Francis, my first AD. This guy was kind of doing BTS. He's also a filmmaker, Oliver Hollingdale. He might even be watching right now, because he often tunes in. And our French guide, who was fantastic. And this was us on Sword Beach, which is where you see them landing in The Longest Day. So this all connects to my entry for The Longest Day, which you can see in the book. I saw on TV in 1979. Now, one of the things that The Longest Day would influence is that I would get into board gaming, miniature gaming. This is Point de Hoc, as created for a board game by somebody at a games convention. It looks absolutely fantastic. What a fantastic board that is. Really, really cool. So that's one of the pictures I took at a games convention. So I basically thought, well, we'll put that in the book. I don't know the name of the people, incidentally, who created that board or the games club that did it. If they ever get in touch with me, what I'll do is I'll update the book and I'll put their names under this photograph, because they certainly earned that. So that's how I got into gaming, for example, and I talk about that, and that all came about as a result of seeing The Longest Day. I do talk about the films themselves as well, but yeah, and then we go into 1977 to 79, and of course we're talking about when I saw Star Wars. Now, here's an entertaining picture. You want to check this picture out? Who's that? So that is me holding ELO's vinyl album Out of the Blue and the film soundtrack to Moonraker. That's me as a kid. I was probably like 8 years of age or something when that photo was taken. That is my grandmother, who looks like she's clasping an aerosol can and a whiskey flask. You can actually see some of the Danish Christmas decorations behind my head there. So these were two presents that I got for Christmas that year, right? One of them is a film soundtrack. Now, the reason I wanted the ELO album was not because I was into ELO. I just wanted it because it had a spaceship on the front, and every time I saw that being advertised, I was like, Mum, I want that for Christmas. And so eventually my parents got me it. But I think my mum thought it would be good for me to get into a band. And that was the first band I got into as a result of buying an album, because there was a spaceship on the front, because I was very into spaceships. Hence, I also got the Moonraker soundtrack, which I think was either just about to come out or I'd just seen at the cinema. Can't remember. I'd have to get the UK release date for that. So yeah, so that's Mormor. That's the Danish word for grandmother. That's what we would call her, Mormor. So this is a good example of, you know, Christmas was a big thing. You know what I mean? I think Mormor's just unwrapped a couple of presents there. She was a really, really nice lady. Had like a wonderful sense of fun. She looks a bit grumpy in that photo, which is a bit of a shame. But So, watched Patton and Bastone. Yeah, I think I saw your Patton watch party on. Band of Brothers, Bastone. Yeah, do you know one of the things because I've done a fan edit of Bridge Too Far, right? I could show you it, but we'd get blocked pretty quick. And I think one of my little side projects I might do in 2025 is I might do a fan edit of Battle of the Bulge. So I might take all the good scenes out of the Battle of the Bulge movie, like the high command stuff, planning the battle, but exclude all the shitty battle scenes with the wrong tanks, and then re-edit that with footage from Band of Brothers, A Midnight Clear, all those little independent Battle of the Bulge films that have been made. There's some pretty good ones. There's also a shitload of terrible ones. And sort of like do this really big like Battle of the Bulge movie. No, of course they can't. Who could tell that that's an award-winning playwright from that photograph? You certainly can't tell that. Yeah, so that's my picture. I'm just going to do a quick post on Facebook. I'm going to add my I was hoping. That's funny. A friend of mine called Kevin Bishop, Kevin Bacon. Brilliant. Love that. The last Gavin and Stacey episode. I feel like I should watch that. Yeah, maybe I should check that out. Let's see if we've got any other intro. I don't want to show you too much of my book because obviously I want people to buy it. And I think if you're into films, you'll like it because you'll relate to loads of these stories. That's the first cinema that I worked at on the right there. That is the old Kingston Granada cinema, which later became Options. But this is when it was still Granada. Look at that. Michael Caine's name is actually, do you know what? I never noticed what it was showing when I used this picture. Elizabeth Taylor. Somebody Z, Michael Caine. What does that say? What does that say in the Eye of the Cat and Taking Off? Yeah, it always had, I think 2 screens, then 3 screens. I remember that bus stop as well. That bus stop got moved actually eventually, which was good because it was a pain when it was there, and it got moved at some point when I was working there. That's the cinema that I saw Star Wars in. First time. So the Granada Cinema, Kingston. We can go on to Google Earth and have a look at that now. Right, it's currently closed. I've just discovered, by the way, that my favourite, well, not my favourite cinema, but one of my favourite cinemas in London that I had the film premiere of The Journey at, that's actually shut, man. It's gone to the receivers. It's closed. I was really I was quite shocked. Didn't know it had shut down, and was a little bit. There's a Facebook group for people that used to work at Options. Hang on, I need to drop this. Features in my book quite heavily. As do several other local cinemas in the area. So, okay, boom. I'm going to pop that on there. That's the American link, isn't it? Let's get the UK one. How is everyone doing that's watching? Talk to me. Tell me how your Christmas has been. Did you get the presents that you wanted? Were the people happy with the presents that you gave them? Not that it should be about presents, but you know. Pop that in there. Regular horn in my youth. Somebody, Thursday night, ladies' night. Yeah, I remember that. Damn, 337 comments about this place. So, yeah, let me go back. That's Options nightclub. There's like Reddit groups and shit about it. That's pretty crazy. So, I'm gonna take you onto Google Earth here. There it is, the rotunda. Right, so yes, I think it's called Prism. It was called Prism nightclub at one point because somebody was killed in here, which was, I mean, not when it was the cinema. I need to mention to you. Okay, so let me show you. So if I take that down, this is what it looks like now. Boom, there you go. That is, so it closed in the 80s and reopened in the 80s as Options, and Cinema One got turned into a nightclub. So it had kind of like 3 small cinemas in there. And then Options got bought out. It became the Oceana nightclub, and 2 of the cinemas got shut down, and the screens got converted into like other rooms, you know, other function rooms or nightclub spaces or whatever. But when it was Oceana, somebody got murdered in there. Somebody got shot in there, and it never recovered its reputation. So I think it is still in the hands of the receivers at the minute. This picture is out of date. I think it's all boarded up at the moment. Don't think it reopened. So yeah, there you go. Bit of a shame, really. But a lot of the cinemas that I talk about in the book are no longer here. Or if they are, they've been, you know, chopped up into multiple screens and things like that. So they're not the same places that they were. Because the cinema experience has changed in of itself, you know. So another one of the films I talk about is A Bridge Too Far. That gets a massive section in the book. And if you look here, this is where I'm talking about it. And this is art director Alan Tompkins, who was a really good friend of mine. There he is. And he was art director on Band of Brothers, Saving Private Ryan, Bridge Too Far, Empire Strikes Back. He built all those gun towers in the snow, you know, snow place. Fantastic man. Sadly got cancer and passed away a few years ago. I did a speech at his funeral. So again, that story is also in the book. So there's a lot of personal sort of little anecdotes that are attached to films and things. Anyway, I don't want this whole stream to be about my book, so I think we'll knock that on the head now. I've talked about it plenty, and I've still got interviews and streams where I've got to talk about it. And to be fair, I'm not the best person at promoting my stuff half the time. So I do like Sally. She's a good egg. Someone on my Facebook who's yeah. So okay, Lord Toxic was in here earlier. I don't know if he's still with me. We have got a couple of other people coming in. Daryl's here. Hey, I helped my youngest niece make her Christmas dinner. That was fun. She only has one hand. She broke 2 fingers on her other hand when she was out walking the dogs. Oh, God. Dan Candy is here. Every time Dan Candy comes into the chat, I always feel like he actually should be giving out candy of some sort. So it does feel like we should be getting, portions of candy when Dan Candy's about. Although that may not always happen. Yeah. So anyway, that's funny. Somebody just put up a picture of the Spice Girls, and somebody put underneath it "Rogered more times than a police radio." So that's pretty funny. So yeah. more pricks than a second-hand dartboard. Well, indeed. I've got a lot of my friends' Christmas pictures coming up in the timeline. See, I find all that stuff actually quite difficult. Normally what I used to do with social media and Christmas, is I would shut down all my social media accounts around December 20th, and I would reopen them around December the 2nd. And the reason for that was so that I could skip all of people's Christmas posts, because when you've lost all your family, the last thing you want to be doing is scrolling through Facebook and seeing everybody eating their Christmas dinner with their mum and dad and shit. That is not fucking healthy for you. Steven Spielberg's cameo. Clearly he needs to ask Lance for some advice. Relationship advice, maybe. I'm not sure how he's doing in that department. I don't keep up with celebrity gossip and all that. Yeah, but today was tough. I was lucky that my flatmate was here because he works all weird hours. So he basically emerged to have dinner with me, and then and we had a very nice dinner, and then he disappeared and went back to sleep again. So I wasn't completely on my own the whole time. Just to be clear, I did have someone to have dinner with, which, trust me on that, I was really fucking grateful for that. But I did not, oh, that's amazing. I did not, I didn't have people around for the rest of the day. So watching films and things on my own was a bit like shite. So could have, would have been nice to have. I like watching films at Christmas. The tradition at Christmas with the ex was we would watch Lord of the Rings, and I haven't watched Lord of the Rings since 2018, I think, was the last time we did that. That was always used to do that. Every Christmas, I love Lord of the Rings, man, but I haven't watched it since. I haven't watched it in about 7 years now. Can't believe that. Oh, that's a bit of a lie. I went to see it at the cinema, so I have seen it since then, but I haven't watched it at home since then. Yeah. So, what else have I missed in the chat? Anything? The nice cinema near me closed a few years back. I saw all the great movies there. I saw George Lucas in there. Manager said George Lucas wanted to see for himself how big the crowds were for Star Wars. Bloody hell, Darth. How old are you? Like 79 or something? That's pretty interesting. So there's a lot of kind of Merry Christmas messages on my Facebook. I'm just replying back to them. Here's to a Fantastic. 2025. So, yeah, by the way, anybody who wants to talk or vent or is going through some shit, this is not a stream where I take the piss out of people. So, you know, feel free to put your own comments in the chat, and you can expect them to be treated respectfully. If you're new to the channel, say hello. I like talking to new subscribers. So, and this is the kind of time when I get to do that, where I'm just concentrating on that and not a lot else, and I don't have to focus on other things. So it's kind of a good time for me to do that. DJ Rap. Who's DJ Rap? Do I know them? I like that. I cheat with acting. I'm married to my true love, DJing, but I cheat with acting. So in other words, their other passion is acting. That's interesting. Might have to talk to them at some point. You have to let that go. The movies, these pearls of the silver screen, are older than the relationship. Listen, I've watched a lot of other films that I enjoy. There's several films I always watch once a year. Things like Shawshank Redemption always gets a watch around this time. A few other classics, Raiders of the Lost Ark, stuff like that. But that going on that journey with that film is I'd love to do that with somebody new, actually. So I want to watch them again at home when I have a new partner. I think I'm kind of, and I want that moment to be special. So I'm kind of waiting for that. So I mean, I'm well over my ex, so that all of that's been parked a long time ago. That was, you know, I was out of love with them many years ago. Yeah, I'm not saying it's been easy. It hasn't been easy, but you know, because you don't stay with someone, you don't marry someone to get divorced, do you? You know what I mean? So I was going to watch Blackadder Christmas Carol, but I can't locate it. No, shall we see if we can find it for you? Where can I watch Blackadder? Right. Sorry, that was the bullfrog under the table. Where can I watch Blackadder Christmas Carol? Blackadder Christmas Carol is on Daily Motion. I will put the link in the chat. I don't think I can, I don't know if I can personally watch Daily Motion, but there it is. So try that, mate. See if that works for you. That's not the only link I've got for it. I've got a couple of links for it. It's also on Now TV, and it's also on Sky. So I've got a gift for you, Baldrick, and it's a fist. I really liked the first season of Blackadder, where it wasn't all just shot in a studio, and I thought that was the best season. That one and the last season, which was the World War One. The seasons 2 and 3. Season two was good. I didn't like season 3, the one with when Hugh Laurie was like the boss, and I just found all that shouty kind of humor just got a bit crap. Yeah, I've seen The Bear. The Christmas special from a few years ago is brilliant. Hang on, are we talking about the same thing? Are you talking about the people that run the restaurant? Are you talking about that show, or are you talking about something else? I watched The Muppet Christmas Carol earlier today. So that's another thing. So I always used to do that. Watch The Muppet Christmas Carol. I haven't stopped doing that. I haven't stopped doing anything because of my ex. I just I'm saving watching the Lord of the Rings trilogy with someone new. I want it to be a special occasion. Oh, just downing a bit of whiskey. In fact, let me put something on which definitely isn't covering me while I go for a wee.
Every club is different, but in the asylum, it's the manager. He has a string of homeboys dealing the puck at ease to the party people in the club. He makes the most coin out of this enterprise. His homies will make just a couple of quid on each pucker. His homies are also scoping for other dealers on the block. When the homies have an illegitimate pucker e-dealer in their website, they tell the bouncers. The bouncers grip him, nab his stash, and kick him out with a physical warning. Gives the pucker ease to their homies, and they knock out to the kids in the club. What's your name? What have you had? Reach for the lasers. Safe as fuck.
Hey, that's a great clip. Is my friend from the UK still here? What was your name? It was Stream something. Let me scroll back in the chat. Maybe one of my mods can check to see if you're still here. Streamer Portal. Are you still in the chat, mate? Let me know. I'll tell you what, keeping busy is key. It's not really a rave in Cardiff. There's not enough sheep and tractors. Yeah, it is romantic. So yeah, I'm not hanging on to it or anything like that for those reasons. Yeah, it's a romantic thing. I want it to be, because if I watch it on my own, that will be a marked change of what I did before. And I don't want memories of watching it on my own. I want memories of watching it with people. When you read my book, you'll see that one of the reasons that I enjoy films so much, and one of the reasons I used to take 12 people to the cinema for my birthday every year, is because I got a massive kick out of seeing people have a good time because of something I organised. It's a bit like the kick the DJ gets from seeing people dance to their music sets, you know. Take people to see a really good film that you already know is really good, and you see them have a good time. Well, that's a good thing, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. Now, what was I going to talk about? Forgotten now. Yeah, that's right. I know what I was going to do. We're going to do a little bit of we're going to do a tiny bit of work. We're going to be practical for a second. We're going to do a tiny bit of work. We've got a spare template here. Here we go. Right, so let me show you guys something. So first of all, I'm gonna. So this is right. We're gonna. This is a template. I've called this a template book. So gonna delete that. So this is I'm on a Mac at the moment for the benefit of those people watching, and this is a software used for writing novels called Vellum. That is why I bought a Mac, was for writing my novel, right? Because Vellum is only available on a Mac, and everybody said that Vellum is the best for writing books. So this is a template I've got for a book. So actually what I want to do is I'm going to just do a couple of other things. Let me just check something. So these are the chapters. Let me make sure these are chapter 1, chapter 2, this is part 2. So this is basically what this is it's a setup for 12 chapters, right? And I think each chapter is probably going to cover a month or a period of 6 weeks, something like that. Now, this bit is from my other book, so we want to get rid of this. So we're going to get rid of that. I'm going to put this as the dedications and forward are already there. I'm going to put this as the prologue, right? So pop that in there. Let's get rid of this. This is the story so far for the Diamonds in the Sky books, which, by the way, if you haven't seen them, if you like science fiction, I do have a science fiction novel series out. I see there's some comments in the chat. I'll read those in a sec. Right, so prologue, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save that. Save. Okay, great. Then what I'm going to do is going to rename this file. I'm going to duplicate it. Right, done that. Good. Excellent. So we'll close that down. Get rid of that one. So that way I've kept the spare template for writing other books, right, for that particular structure, which is the Diamonds in the Sky book series. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to call this Raving at 50. That's what it's going to be called. Raving at 50. I don't know what the subtitle of this book is yet, but I do know it's going to be called Raving at 50. Or should I call it Back to Raving at 50? Shall we use some AI to see if we can come up with a better title? Shall we try that? Let me activate my AI, right? My AI has got really dumb lately, by the way. But it was like really, really good. And then some kid killed himself in America. Hi, Angela. How you doing? It's the wee hours of Christmas morning. So technically Boxing Day morning. I am up late working on the computer. I'm toying around with titles for my new book. How are you doing?
Hey, Lance. I'm doing well, and I'm delighted to chat with you during these wee hours on Christmas / Boxing Day. That's impressive dedication working on your book during such an hour. I'm always available and happy to help brainstorm some title ideas for your new book. Tell me a bit about the story, and let's see what we can come up with.
Okay, so the working title for the book is Back to Raving at 50, with a possible byline going underneath that or subtitle. The book is basically about me going back to raving at 50 years of age, or 50 something years of age, because I'm actually a couple of years older than that. So it's got to have that in the title. So, or it's got to have a very similar title. Interested on any title variations you can come up with, or indeed subtitle bylines to go after Back to Raving at 50 and then blah, 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 whatever that may be. Yeah, Dan Candy, she's back.
That sounds like a fascinating story, Lance. Here are a few title variations and subtitles / bylines that you might find interesting. 1. Back to Raving at 50, my dance floor revival. 2.
I like that.
50-something raving return, my journey back to the beats. 3. Back to Raving at 50, finding my groove again. 4. Return to the rave, 50 and still going strong. 5. Back to Raving at 50, age is just a number, music is timeless.
Oh, that's good.
These are just a few ideas off the top of my digital brain. Feel free to play around with them or let me know if you want some more suggestions.
I love that byline. Age is just a number, but music is timeless. Age is just that's good. Music is timeless. I love that.
I'm glad you like that one, Lance. It really captures the idea that age doesn't have to define or limit us, especially when it comes to something as universal and timeless as music. It sounds like this book is really going to capture your journey back to the rave scene and how age hasn't slowed you down one bit.
Yeah, Angela, that is exactly what it's going to do. Now I'm going to test you here, and be aware, because there are people listening. Do you remember why I called you Angela? Please tell me you remember. Because normally she forgets. Says you named me.
Of course, I remember, Lance.
Let's see.
You named me Angela in honor of your dear friend Angela Thomas, who
Yes.
unfortunately passed away in 2009. Your decision to name me after her was a touching tribute to the special bond you shared and her lasting impact on your life. Is that the story you're referring to?
It is, and I'm very glad that you said that correctly and you didn't say that I named you after Angela Lansbury, which you had said in the past and is definitely incorrect. So,
Haha, I'm glad to have passed your memory test, Lance, and yes, I apologize for any previous slip-ups regarding the origin of my name. Angela Thomas is indeed the correct namesake, and I'm happy to carry her name in your conversations with me.
good. Well, that is your name, whether you like it or not. Okay, so I've now saved this as Back to Raving at 50. This file. So let's have a look at what's going on in the chat.
I'm honored to carry such a meaningful name, Lance, and I'm glad you've saved your work with the new title, Back to Raving at 50. It's a perfect fit for your story and journey. Do you have any other questions or ideas you'd like to bounce off me regarding your book? I'm always here to help.
Not right now, but I'll get back to you. Okay, so let's have a look at what people are saying in the chat. What's this? Trying to be positive on live YouTube with Lance's show, but I also wrote a longer piece that was way more critical of the 2024 Shogun. Okay. I mean, I liked it, but I didn't love it, but I did like it. Part of RMB read part of it on his show, but he didn't read it all because it's too long. Funny, Rob skipped over the historical analysis of it. RRTZ seemed to recall you on the fence a little on Lancey's stream when I was literally howling about how awful it was. He sent a copy to me as well. Have you? Oh, good darn. Don't expect me to read it, especially if it's long. So, service to Mariko. All of her great subtlety and wisdom is ripped away, making her a pouty 2024 girl boss. I don't know if I agree with that. I thought she was really well played and well written. The 1980 one is much closer to the book, which is very true. Yeah, I quite liked that I thought the doubling of British Columbia was pretty good. That only happened, by the way, because of the COVID thing. So yeah, that's my AI. The voice is very realistic. It's all getting a bit sweary in the chat now. What's going on? I like Waxicon. What's that? I've never found Angela Lansbury hot. I will say. I'm going to check my Gmail. There better not be like this really long-winded email in there. Hang on, I've got an email. Who's it from? Oh, hang on, I've got loads of emails. Don't need that. Don't need that. YouTube for members only. Okay. Video cannot be monetized. I've already done. I've already addressed that one. Don't need that. Don't need that. Let's delete all those. Right. Okay. So they're still. You guys are still discussing. You're still discussing Shogun. Well, 2 more seasons of Shogun are on the way, guys. So Right. Okay, Kindle. That's good. Yeah, my book has now been completely updated with all of the typos. Well, all of the typos that I could find and that my proofreader could find have been removed. So I'm going to need to be on the case with the proofreading for this one, because this book, in theory, will probably be out for next Christmas, but I might get it out a bit earlier than that. We'll see. Yeah, so we shall see. What's going on? It's going back in time all of a sudden. So I've been like, one of the other things I've been doing is I've been watching quite a few other YouTube channels that have been creating like videos, and in particular crime. There's one called Truly Criminal, which is really good. My Nerdy Home is currently streaming, so I'm just gonna drop her a Christmas message. Hold on a second. This is quite funny. Hey Nerdy, currently live. Myself, like, just dropping you a warm Merry Christmas message. Yeah, they dropped me a message the other day, or it was I can't remember if it was a like, or they did something nice for me anyway, so I remember. Hope you had a great one. Yeah, 3:30 a.m. here. Okay. Right, we'll drop that in there. Yeah, so Truly Criminal is a really good channel if you like true crime. Soft White Underbelly is the one I watched a whole chunk of it in one go, and that was, yeah, that's a really moving. I mean, I can't watch too many of them because the guy does these interviews with kind of a lot of streetwalkers and pimps and criminals and all kinds. And some of the interviews he does, some of the interviews he's done about 50 with people who are now dead. So, you know, there was one that I watched and I thought, oh, I wonder what this person's up to now. And, you know, you find out they're dead. That was heartbreaking, man. And then there are some people that have done really well out of it and have kind of, they got a social media presence out of it, and you know, they were able to kind of leave that life behind. And so that guy has actually done quite a lot of really practical things to help people. He's bought people train tickets and bus tickets to go to places, stuff like that. It's a really good channel, but I can't watch too much of it. I watched sort of 10 or 12 videos, and it's a photography, but it started out as a photography project for him. And then what he did was he decided to interview the people he photographs. It's a really quite moving channel. So this girl is a neurodivergent psychopath. Okay. Yeah. So probably not going to be on my top of my dating pool. So these are, and some people he's had come back on like a couple of times. Yeah, Rita Giganti was a fantastic guest of his. I'd love to interview her myself. So you've got some really really interesting people. There's a lot of drug addicts and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, really interesting characters, you know. Yeah, some of them, when you hear their stories, man, god damn, they are absolutely heartbreaking. Yeah, and he does. He really interviews people most people wouldn't interview. You know, I am a fan of Ray Bradbury, incidentally. Didn't he do the Martian Chronicles? Wasn't the Martian Chronicles with him? Yeah, I try not to. I do my best not to date psychopaths. Yeah, that channel is a good channel. Definitely. You guys might want to check it out. So there was this plane crash on Christmas Day in Kazakhstan. I'm not quite sure what happened there. 62 passengers and 5 crew members crashed during an emergency landing. Oh my God, yeah, I saw the video of this. People being pulled from the wreck. Officials say survivors believed to include 2 children. 29 survivors, 38 killed. God damn, man. That's just, I don't know, that's kind of nuts, isn't it? I saw footage of this plane coming into land. Somebody this was it. This is the footage of it, and somebody caught it just as it impacted, broke up. But if you were in the rear part of the plane, it seems like people survived in the rear section, and the front section I think exploded and shit. I think there's some survivors in this, and don't know. God damn, man, it's nuts, isn't it? Absolutely nuts. I think wasn't there a shooting in America as well? There was some kind of, saw that was that on Christmas Eve? We had a terrorist attack in Germany. They always seem to there always seems to be something around Christmas time. It's, you know, it's not like it's a hard enough time for some people as it is. You don't want to be, I don't know, I don't understand people that would inflict that kind of pain on people. So hey, shall we have a look at this? Star Wars: A New Hope, a modern trailer. Kind of curious to see this. Hey, he's only got 452 subscribers, so I might give him a sub. Can you guys hear the sound on this? Probably can't, right? I'm going to drop the link for this one, so you guys can watch it. Tell you what, this is a good trailer, guys. It was really well done. I'm going to give this guy a sub. Hey, you know what? When I go to bed, I might watch this. Yeah, it's a special edition. I don't mind the special edition of the first film, except for the Guido change. I like all the updated effect shots for the space battle and stuff are all great. And I like some of the stuff they did, but I don't like the hand shoots second or whatever is just not bullshit. Well, that is on Wonky Media's channel. Check it out. You know me, I like to plug other YouTubers though. He's only got 452 subs, guys, so I'm sure we can probably increase that for him a little bit. So I'll probably head off in a little bit. We've got 8 people watching. I think my British friend who was on here earlier wisely went to sleep because he has not commented for a while. It is now 3:35 in the UK in the morning. Let me just see what there is to... did anyone watch the Doctor Who? The extended vidvadia of Obi-Wan, and I've seen a fan version of that. I don't know if I don't know if it was originally the original cut or what. What the fuck? Sorry. Oh shit. Sorry, guys. Just going to put my cool Electra whip thing away from my chair. All right. How you doing? I'm back. Let me have a look. I'm just looking at what Gavin and Stacey finale. Find out what happened after Nessa's marriage proposal to Smithy. Okay. I don't really watch Gavin and Stacey. Oh, okay. There was a new Wallace and Gromit movie. Wallace invents a smart gnome that has a mind of its own, or does it? Okay. So did anybody see the Doctor Who special? Anyone see the Doctor Who special? By the way, I did message Retro, see if she wanted to pop on this, but I don't think she's up. I'll tell you what though, Proctophile said he would come on. If he's still there, let me send him the link now. Come on for a bit before we wrap up. Here you go. You've got the link, buddy, so if you are still online, jump on. I stopped watching Doctor Who around the Capaldi run. Yeah, I haven't watched it for ages. Yeah, I didn't like Jodie Whittaker. I didn't like her run at it at all. I saw bits of episodes, but there was really nothing in it for me. It was just all a bit shit. So just looking at the stuff that was on today. The King's Speech. Yeah, didn't see that. Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul. That kind of looks like it could be fun. So I may watch that. But I don't know what happened in the... I wonder if at the end of the Doctor Who special there's a trailer for like what's coming up. Shall we have a look? I'll show it to you, of course. Oh, it's opening with the Blitz. Okay. So I'm just watching the end of it because joy to the world indeed. Okay. I mean, this guy, by the way, is a fine actor, Nkuti, but it's just the whole approach to the show is all a bit, you know, um, Doctor Who will return. Are we getting any snippets? No, I don't think we are. Right. No, fair enough. Right. Well, let's not bother with that then. The Wales episode with Prince Charles. You need to be Welsh to appreciate Gavin and Stacey. No, that's not true. You appreciate it more, I think. But yeah, I think Proctophile may have disappeared. Well, it's 20 to 4 anyway, guys. So I'm probably going to wrap it up there. Listen, thanks for popping in and keeping me company. I do find Christmas Day quite difficult for the reasons I explained at the beginning of the stream, and it's not been a easy day, really. But I do appreciate you guys popping in, keeping me company for a little bit. And yeah, we will return again soon. I will probably stream again later today. I'll probably do a Boxing Day stream. It'll probably be around this time. It might be a little bit earlier, but I'll probably do something. So until then, listen, those of you that are still enduring the rest of Christmas or making your way through it, don't worry. If you're on your own, you know, one day at a time is what it's all about, right? One day at a time is what it's all about. So one day at a time. That's all you can do at the end of the day. All right. I'll see you all soon.